contracts till 6 November at Vodacom for You stores or vodacomforyou.co.za. T's and C's apply.
On 947, this is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Lerato Hufele. ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula has fiercely defended International Relations Minister Naledi Pandor on the back of criticism from the Jewish Board of Deputies for a phone call she made to Hamas. Just over a week ago, the militant group launched an attack on Israel from Gaza, killing hundreds of people and taking a number of hostages back to the Strip. Israel's responded by declaring war, and the region is now in the grips of a devastating conflict, which has already seen thousands killed on both sides. The SAJBD claims the minister pledged support for Hamas's attack on Israel. However, the International Relations Department has dismissed these claims. Speaking at a post-cabinet briefing this afternoon, Mbalula said South Africa's chief diplomat has the right to talk to anyone. Tidi Madia was there for us.
Our minister, hands off our minister Naledi Pandor.
ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula has lambasted those calling for Minister Naledi Pandor to be fired over calls she made to Palestine's Hamas. He says it's her job as South Africa's top diplomat to speak to all entities.
Talk to people there with guns. You talk to them. Special envoys and everything are there for that. It's shuttle diplomacy left and right. You don't just talk to a press conference.
Mbalula says Pandor's advancing peace and must continue in that vein as long as it doesn't compromise this country's foreign policy perspective. CD Madia, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And Parliament says it will begin a process of questioning as many as 28 employees in connection with security breaches which led to the fire that gutted the National Assembly building. Secretary Kolile George has today released a summary of the litany of fire system and security failures which led to the January 2022 fire. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 9 degrees, peaking at 27. Tshwane 11 and 29. Vereniging 8, reaching a high of 27 as well. Lerato Hufele, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
947 Music.
Live.
947 Music.
Live.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
By the way, I'm coming to the final. I expect to lift the trophy when I come to start Paris.
I think there's no doubt that Paris this morning has a very hollow feeling because the French national rugby team captures the country's hearts in the way that even the football team can't. I think that South Africa came through magnificently, and now, and let's say this softly, I think the tournament's at their mercy.
What Russ is able to do is second to none in the current rugby world at the moment.
I also am one that says he's just got this mental attitude that what he still has to do, he hasn't done yet. And I give credit to him because he turned us within a couple of months into world champions.
A squad, a management, a whole structure reflects the true demographics of South Africa. And to do that harmoniously is a real challenge. And I think it's to the credit of everyone involved.
Talk about a sign of weakness. James, I know from your side, there is no sign of weakness. It's the last four. Who's going to be the last two standing?
I think it's going to be South Africa and New Zealand. And I think we can all reflect upon the Ireland-New Zealand game and South Africa-France game should have been the semi-finals, and that was just the luck of the draw and the timing of the draw. I think we were treated to a festival of rugby this weekend.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Yeah, back on your radio, back in Johannesburg. So nice to be back home, man. Starting to get a bit chilly over there in France, eh? The winter realities are starting to creep in. No more heat waves, no more water breaks during the rugby games, eh? The reality had sunk in. So we needed to go home. Great time was that. Thank you so much indeed for all the reaction, all the response. All the guests, man, that made their way through to come and chat to us right here on hashtag MSW. Such a great pleasure, such a great honor seeing arguably one of the best rugby clashes of all time. And the Rugby World Cup's not even over yet. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what still lies ahead? Well, imagine no more. We are back on your dial listening to 947. For my FM, Rise FM, Sowetan Live, wherever you are around the country, the continent, or the world. Still talking about rugby, though. The defense coach, Kevin Sinfield, has revealed that England are in awe. Imagine, they're in awe of the level of physicality that South Africa displayed in the 29-28 quarterfinal win over the World Cup host France last Sunday. Now, the Springboks are going to be looking to take another step towards a successful world title defense when they take on England in the semi-finals that are happening over the weekend.
They're a top team, aren't they? We saw the game on Saturday evening, and we're in awe of the physicality that they brought. I think France certainly turned up too, and it was a great showcase for what rugby is about. We knew whoever we met at this point would be a tough challenge, especially with the draw. It was either the hosts or the current holders, and we have the utmost respect for them. Yeah, I think we've come up against a team that's probably got the best defence in the world at the minute. In South Africa, they've been together a long time. They're really well drilled. It's an aggressive defence, and we look forward to coming up against them at weekend. I'm not too bothered, if I'm honest. It doesn't really matter to me. Our focus is on trying to support and help and influence our players to be the best they can be at weekend. And you know what outsiders thought of us back in August, we took on the chin. And I think throughout this last sort of 5 or 6 weeks we've been together, we've made huge improvements, and we know we need to be much improved again at weekend if we want to get the job done. I think some will use it, and I think some won't be bothered at all, because a lot's changed in 4 years, certainly for us. I know they've had a lot of continuity with their coaching team.
Well, the England lock, Ollie Chesham, was asked how he feels to be facing South Africa. His answer.
Massively excited, I think. These are the games you want to be a part of, against the biggest teams on the biggest stages and the biggest competitions. And, like you say, they've got some unbelievable players in their pack that bring, an exceptional level of physicality, and it's up to us to go out there at the weekend and compete against that.
Well, we flick it back to Director of Rugby. Hey, Rassie Erasmus stepping up the mind games ahead of South Africa's World Cup semi-final meeting with England, naming the 23-man squad he expects his Red Rose counterpart Steve Borthwick to select. Saturday's match at the Stade de France in Paris is a repeat of the 2019 World Cup final, which England headed into as favourites back then, only to suffer a humbling 32-12 defeat at the hands of the then unfancied Springboks.
Now we're guessing, obviously. No, we took the basic guys, against George, Sinclair, Itoje, Chisholm, Laws, Curry, Earl, Mitchell, Farrell, Daly, Tulagi, Marchant, May, Marcus Smith or Stewart, Dan, Mahler, Cole, George, Billy, Ben Young, so Danny, George Ford and Ollie. That's who we think, but we might be totally wrong. Marcus, will he or Freddie plays? I mean, Marcus has got this massive X factor, and Freddie is unbelievable under the eyeball. Will Owen play inside centre and Tulagi outside, or will Ford play fly off and come and drop goal in?
Oh man, you gotta love Rassie Erasmus. That was South Africa under the guidance of Director of Rugby Erasmus, as well as head coach Jacques Nienaber. are perhaps even a better side now that they were in Japan, while England have undergone a reset since Eddie Jones was sacked following a poor run of results. Now Borthwick replacing the Australian last December. So the two nations have met twice in the intervening 4 years. Both games played at Twickenham Stadium in the autumn internationals, with England winning 27-26 in November 2021 before losing 27-13 to the Box a year later.
They've played us end of year last year. They played us at the World Cup, in the World Cup final. And I think they will have some beef with us. I think they will be very physical. I think they will definitely step it up at all set phases. And then I think they've got a team full of, Tulagi himself, just to stop him alone is going to be a big job no matter what position he plays. And then you never know what Farrell dish out on the day. England's unbeaten. They stuck to their guns. Both weeks since he's been appointed, and they kept believing on what they're doing, and it's paying off. And you can see they're a team full of belief, and they will be definitely hurting from not just last year when we beat them, but also from the World Cup final in 2019. So they will be a very, very desperate team, and a team which you respect.
Well, similar to what the coach has said, Rassie Erasmus, South Africa's fly half Andre Pollard, expecting semi-final opponents England to have some beef with South Africa due to their defeat in the final of the last World Cup. England are out for revenge after being beaten 30-12 by Erasmus's side back in 2019 in the final in Japan, when they were coached then, as we said, by Eddie Jones.
Absolutely. And of course, that's the case. I mean, you could see on their faces 4 years ago the disappointment. I've been part of a squad that's fell out in a semi-final in a World Cup, and it sits with you the rest of your life. A lot of things you look back and regret, maybe thought that you could have done differently, and I'm sure they'll come with that mindset this weekend. I think they'll be ruthless. I think they'll take their intensity and physicality to a whole new level. But that being said, we're prepared for that. We're ready for that, and we enjoy that. That's always a part of the game that we love. And if there's going to be beef, it's going to be beef. It stays rugby. It's 80 minutes.
Robert Marawa and Tando Manana, live at the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals.
It flies in for the Rainbow Nation.
Ireland versus New Zealand and France versus the Box. Hashtag MSW in France. It's the infamous room dividers.
People are saying that England are a weaker England. Springboks are going to roll all over them. That can't be true, can it?
Rob, I'll take you back to 2007. I think from an English perspective, in that first round, we hammered them in that round robin.
Yeah.
And be as it may, they turned the screws around in the semi-final to play us in the final again. But what I'm saying, Rob, is effectively we should not allow to sort of move our focus. Our focus should not be what people are saying or how poor the English team is, because I don't think so. I think on any given day, anything can arrive. You start sort of building the belief within and saying we have no one but ourselves to take us through to the next stage.
It's the infamous room dividers. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. with Robert, Tando and Ashwin. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
I must also express our deepest sympathies to the families and friends who have lost loved ones in the ongoing tragedy that has caught the world attention. We pray for a peaceful and swift resolution for everyone so that football can resume in our member association, the Palestine Football Association.
We unfortunately live in a very divided and very aggressive world, and I would want to start this address by sending my deepest condolences to the families and friends of those who have lost their lives in Palestine, in Israel, in the region, and my solidarity to the people of the entire region who are suffering and paying an unspeakable price. My thoughts and my prayers are with all the mothers who lost their children and with all those who have suffered. It's clear that violence and hatred are never a mean to obtain anything. And therefore, my appeal is really for all those involved and all those who have power to stop immediately the violence so that new ways for a peaceful solution to live together can be explored. But the World Cup 2026 with 48 teams, doubling the participation of Asian teams, is really a game changer for Asia, because now suddenly the vast majority of you have a real chance to qualify for the biggest event on earth, for the FIFA World Cup. This means that you can start really planning, you can start investing, you can start developing yourself, your government, your cities, and growing, of course, the game.
I mean, we need to stand solidly and unitedly behind one bid from the continent. We've seen in the last World Cup 2022 how Qatar developed itself amongst, the highest in nations. And, I've been to Qatar a few times, but we've seen what football has transformed the country. And I have no doubt that Saudi Arabia will do or will go even further.
Right, so listening to the voices of both AFC President Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa as well as the FIFA President Gianni Infantino expressing their sympathies for the victims of the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict today. They shared their addresses at the annual AFC Congress happening in Kuala Lumpur. Right, we're going to quickly turn things around because so much has been said about Mamelodi Sundowns going into their fixture with TS Galaxy tonight. Believe it or not, there is a local football match on the back of Bafana Bafana's key game that they've played. And a lot of the Bafana players, the main contingent, they're out. Will they still field a formidable side against the Rockets? The Brazilians travelling to the Mbombela Stadium for the opening fixture of the newly launched Carling Knockout Cup without Ronwen Williams, Grant Kekane, Tamba Zwane, Aubrey Modiba, Tebo Mkwena, Kuliso Mudau, as well as Motubi Mvala, who were in action against Ivory Coast last night. So in TS Galaxy, they're going to be facing a rejuvenated side that is doing very well in the league under their coach, Sead Ramovic. They've proven to be no pushovers. Going to be looking to give Sundowns a run for their money. That's the competition that has replaced the Telkom Knockout. All right, before we go for a break, let me just welcome on the line Mamelodi Sundowns ambassador coming through live from the Mbombela Stadium, Diani Mabunda, just to get a few words. We'll take a break and we'll come back and wrap things up with him. Diani, thanks so much for your time. Good evening.
Rob, how are you? And good evening to all the listeners.
I am very, very good indeed. I believe you're on the way to the stadium.
Definitely so. There is something that needs to happen in Mbombela, and we're looking forward to seeing it live.
What is that something?
With Mamelodi Sundowns, we've got a lot of hectic schedule, and we're trying to see how our depth is actually ready. So we're looking forward to seeing the squad that Coach Lulani will line up for today's game. And we believe that they're going to do the work. We want to see ourselves in the next stage of the competition. We are the defending champions after all.
Yeah, I was going to say that the names that are mentioned, I mean, these are no pushovers. That's why they're part of the national team. You'll sorely miss them.
That is very true. You can never overlook the absence of the players that are currently representing the national team. But it's also great that we've got so many players representing the country. We're happy to see a majority of them, in fact, most of them, to be participating in the game last night. But it shows the responsibility that lies on the shoulders of Mamelodi Sundowns, whereby some players played yesterday, and today other people need to step up and fill in the shoes. Not going to be an easy game for the newcomers into the team, but they are strong enough. They are capable players that we've acquired for times like this.
Yeah, I'm just going to put you on hold, Diani, if you don't mind. I need to take a quick break. When I come back, we'll talk about some of the personnel that you are referring to right now. That is Diani Mabunda, Mamelodi Sundowns ambassador, coming through live on his way to the Mbombela Stadium.
3, 2, 1.
It's here. The Rugby World Cup.
Springboks with a penalty advantage.
Tracked by Marawa every day. Hashtag MSW on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. It's the infamous Room Dividers.
Commentary as well as journalist genius. That's a commentator, Martin Gillingham. And now one of the things that you've mentioned publicly again, Martin, talking about the South African sharp mind. And you also call him the sharpest mind in the World Cup coach's box. That is a credit to Rassie Erasmus.
But he is, unquestionably, he is a rugby genius. I think the word from within the camp was that he was always one of the deep thinkers. Whether it's a 7-1 bench one week or a 5-3 bench the next, this is innovation. Rassie may well be as mad as a bag of spiders. He is a rugby coaching genius, and I tip my hat to the man.
It's the infamous Room Dividers. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. with Robert, Tando, and Ashwin. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
It's thrilling, it's rewarding, it's Lotto Star's Real Rush Games. Feel a euphoric rush when you spin the reels on Hot Hot Fruit, Wealth Inn, Egyptian Dreams Deluxe, Hey Sushi, Santa's Village, Looney Blocks, and more. Slot your way to instant payouts of up to 2 million rand with our Real Rush Games. Lotto Star, your world of live games.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Join the flip side with the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Take your best selfies hands down and hands free. Get it now for 1,079 Rand per month for 36 months on an MTN Megatalk or Megagigs S plan. Or trade in your device and pay 679 Rand per month. T's and C's apply. Skip to the good stuff at an MTN store or mtn.co.za now. MTN.
Tired of seeing Linda's hashtag soft life travel pics from her hotel room with Table Mountain views? Now you can book your own local stay and hashtag your way to bragging rights. Via is Mzansi's one-of-a-kind accommodation booking app. With over 26,000 local stays to fit any pocket, you can make memories that'll last forever. Visit via.co.za and book your hashtag soft life stay anywhere in South Africa. That's viya.co.za. There you go, Linda. Check out my hashtag soft life with Via.
Who wants to hear some T's and C's? I don't. But yeah, there are anyway. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Old Mutual Insure, a licensed FSP and non-life insurer. T's and C's apply. I mean, really, what a waste of time. Yes, this is another version of the ridiculously short 30-second Pineapple ad. Go to pineapple.co.za for 100% insurance, 0% other stuff. Where once again, thanks to the verbose mandatory T's and C's I just mentioned, we're not going to find out more about...
Don't miss out on best value fiber from MWeb, SA's #1 fiber ISP. Get uncapped 20 megabytes per second fiber for only 299 Rand per month. With month-to-month payments, no upfront costs, and get connected in 5 days. Visit mweb.co.za or call 087 700 5000 to find out more. MWeb, better internet, better you. T's and C's apply. Web Connect coverage depending.
We do have James Weil on the line. He is here in France, a senior rugby correspondent for Planet Rugby. A lot of the times, James, Tando, they talk about, refereeing and influence within refereeing. And it was quite surprising as well in the game on Sunday where the French were the ones who were highlighting the issues around refereeing. And I just want to play you a little bit of a clip.
I think we conceded 6 penalties, if I'm correct, 6 or 7. No matter if we're correct and the referee are wrong, respect must always be shown.
When what Rassie Erasmus was advocating at the press conference.
Yeah, there's always going to be noise about referees. Everybody has an opinion. Were there a couple of close calls on Sunday night? Yeah, for sure. So moaning about them, worrying about them, that's just a sign of weakness.
It's the infamous Room Dividers. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. with Robert, Tando, and Ashwin. Hashtag MSW. MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongeleni Kamkhwane. Good performance, Mr. Marawa, from Bafana Bafana yesterday. Unlike their first game against Swaziland, I think they showed a very, very improved performance. And I think for the coach, I think now he must focus on getting a solid team. He must not chop and change the team too much now. We are not far away from AFCON. It's next year, earlier next year, so we don't have time, to start looking for a solid starting lineup. I think in his mind now, he must have the players that will represent Bafana Bafana in the AFCON, Mr. Marawa. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed for that voice note. And improved Bafana Bafana is what he's alluding to. And we'll get more of your comments if you were able to watch that game. As we said on the line, we were chatting to Danny Babunda, who has disappeared. But we'll give you the latest lowdown with regards to what is going on as far as that game is concerned, who's going to be in that starting lineup, especially from a Mamelodi Sundowns perspective. It is an intriguing game, seeing that a lot of their personnel having done international duty, unavailable for them as they travel back into the country. But firstly, let's head off to the Mbombela Stadium. Diani Mabunda, the Mamelodi Sundowns ambassador. Diani, thank you so much for your patience, man. I know we were chatting about some of the additional personnel. Now, how does coach rearrange the store? What are some of the names that come into the squad for tonight?
Yeah, the team, it's not an easy one, but the greatest joy that we have as Mamelodi Sundowns is knowing that either of our players are capable. You can always anticipate all these great names that haven't been playing to see them in the field of play in a game like this. You begin to understand the importance of having your Busas, your Mabues getting time to play. It's really wonderful to see players that haven't been playing yet. Everybody knows how good they are, being able to get a run and showcase their talent and perhaps show that they really deserve to be in the starting lineup.
But how much of the names, how much before kickoff are you allowed to share with the starting team?
Actually, they normally, Coach Zulu always tries to make sure that everybody is waiting in anticipation to see who is actually in the starting lineup, especially in a time like this where you know that your big names are actually on national duty. You really just hope to see that players like your Bongani Zungu, your Libustas are given a run. Your Maboys, they're definitely going to be players that we all look out to see because we need them at the experience to assist, especially considering that we've got so many games to play back to back.
Yeah, one thing that we can chat about, though, because I can confirm that he is going to be starting off on the bench, is Gaston Serino. I mean, he's been named to start on the bench. We haven't seen him play for Sundowns for a while. In fact, for something like 4 months now. How important and what signal does that send out, having him included again?
It's really a good thing to have Gaston Serino back. We all know what was happening in the beginning of the season. His desire and all the communication that was made of him, perhaps having a move away from Mamelodi Sundowns. But to see that things have been worked out and he is also in the team, that really shows the importance of having players like that. It's a good thing to have him back. We're looking forward to seeing the Gaston Serino that we all know. And we really missed him. I personally feel like he was one of the missing pieces, especially considering the amount of injuries that we had of late. So having him back is a plus for the team and a plus for all of us who are Mamelodi Sundowns faithfuls.
Yeah, well, I can confirm that the squad is already up on some of the public platforms. So for those who would not be able to or driving right now, Abdullah Mine Yeah, you'd probably be able to pronounce that better than I can. Starts the game. Marcelo Alendi is there. Tando Buthelezi, Rivaldo Kutiem, Rishni Derek is there. Musa Lebusa, Lebong Maboy, as you alluded to early on, definitely there. Neo Mayema, Tapelo Masako, Terence Masheko, as well as Junior Mendieta. Then, the rest of the list will be some of the players who are going to be sitting on the bench. So, I mean, you mentioned those names, and you would even say that you guys have got a whole handful of other players that are away on national duty.
Very, very true, bro. That's a good part of having a bigger squad because even in the absence of the players who normally play in the starting lineup, you still got names that you would play on any day. You would wish to see them starting. And that's a good plus for the club. It shows the depth that we have. And it allows the coach to rotate the team and still have the outcome that is desired, and also have the same kind of a play that you would really want as Mamelodi Sundowns.
Because a lot of these players, though, to be honest, Mr. Mabunda, you would swear that they are knocking on the door of Hugo Broos to say, please have a look at me. I think we all advocate, including your coach has advocated for a Rivaldo Kutsia. I mean, what wrong can he do? Where can he put his foot wrong? He doesn't. He hardly ever does that. I mean, Musa Lebusa has been having an awesome season so far. Neo Mayema, on his day when he switches things up, is also a marvel to watch all round. So, yeah, I can proudly say that you guys, it's not just the guys who are not there today. It's also a lot of those who are on the brink of breaking into the national team. There's a lot to play for. Africa Cup of Nations, the World Cup, you name it, it's all there.
That is true, Rob. It still baffles me how Rivaldo Kutsia is still not back in the national team. You also want to understand how come Neo Mayema, all right, perhaps because of the injury, that set him off a little bit. But like you say, Musa Lebusa has had a great start to the season. It also shows the importance of how Coach Rulani rotates the team. Everybody who is currently playing today, we still see and feel that they deserve to be in the national team, meaning to say the contribution they've made thus far could and should be recognized by Coach Hugo Broos. But after all, Coach Hugo Broos is the one on the helm, and he knows what's best for the country right now. And we foresee the future of having more of these players from Mamelodi Sundowns going up there to assist the national team like we did last night.
Yeah, that's the news coming through live from the Mbombela Stadium. Diane Mabunda, as always, man, excellent stuff. Good to hear from you. And in your new role now that you're very familiar, Sundowns Ambassador, thank you so much and good luck for the game tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the listeners, and good luck to Mamelodi Sundowns.
All right, Diane Mabunda there joining us right here on hashtag MSW. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide. In a second, I'll introduce to you a man who's the big boss at La Liga now. We'll introduce him to you. Tell you all about him.
Good evening, Rob. What an improved performance by Bafana yesterday. And for me, the player that stood out is Ukulisa Modau. The last time we had a player who was playing well in that fullback position was when we had the late Sizwe Motaung. But with Kulisa Rob, he's also bringing those advancing fullback qualities. Your Carl Walker type of a player are taking those half spaces and creating possibilities up front. And for me, Rob, it was rather unfortunate that the chance that he got yesterday, he was unable to convert, but he's adding what we need up front, the quality that we need. And lastly, I believe Relebogile is Mufokeng is in England with Wolves. And I just want to wish him all the best because for me, Rob is a type of a player who can fit in nicely into the Wolves setup because I believe Arsenal is on the verge of getting Upetro and Neto, and I think Relebogile could possibly be a suitable replacement looking at his qualities as a player. And for me, Rob, this will be one of the greatest moves for the young man. Thank you so much, Tebogoye.
It'll also be a massive move. Newcastle right now, they're playing football like they've never played football before. I talk about Newcastle, I talk about Tottenham Hotspur. It's been great. It's been such a marvel to watch the ascension of both of those teams. Yeah, it's still early season, but the intent is there. Tebogo, as always, thank you. Well, I whispered something about La Liga, and I think we all know just what a powerhouse La Liga is on the pitch as well as off it. They are constantly looking to do better and better globally. Their presence on the African continent is also, without a shadow of doubt, something that we admire. They are constantly enlisting the talents of extremely passionate individuals to drive their brand to greater heights. And their latest acquisition is no different. The man sitting in front of me, newly appointed Managing Director of La Liga Africa, certainly bringing a wealth of corporate leadership experience to this role. Born in Cameroon, his career in senior corporate management spanning over a decade, demonstrating his commitment to fostering positive change through sport and strengthening La Liga's presence across the beautiful mother continent. Let's welcome in studio, as I said, he's newly appointed. Great to see him in person. Tresor Penku joining us here. Tresor, thank you very much indeed. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thanks for having me.
I think I should have consulted you before I went to France for the Rugby World Cup to just sharpen up a little bit of French on my side, eh?
Peut-être, bien sûr.
No, it's too late. I'm back here in the country. Firstly, congratulations.
Hopefully you can go back again.
For the semifinals.
Yeah, or the finals, hopefully.
Hey, how's the bank card there? Is it ready to swipe?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There's an offer live on radio. Been offered by La Liga to go and watch the semi-finals. Hey, who will say no to that? What's that been like? Firstly, I mean, like I'm saying, congratulations. An awesome appointment, one that we are proud of as a continent, as South African, to see yourself in such a, I won't say lofty, because it is demanding, but it's one that we'll be watching very, very carefully. What's your feeling? What's it been like since ascending into the position?
It's been, I think you've said it all. It's a great opportunity, but it's also a huge responsibility in many aspects, in the professional and also as you talk about the continent, in that of inspiring and probably saying this is, it's positive to work hard, to get far in your career and don't be like complex towards being the best in what you're doing.
Right. And usually we always like to know people, from a personal perspective and to just chat about your background. I mean, I talked about the corporate space that you've been in before and also just what your role entails in advancing La Liga's initiatives in Africa, but a little bit about your background pre the appointment.
I was La Liga delegate in Cameroon. I was based in Cameroon for more than 5 years. And before that, I did my master's degree in sports management. Yeah, so I've always been working in the sports or marketing industry in the past. A lot of experience also in Spain. Through my position in Cameroon, it was actually covering Central Africa. So I was always around Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon. Met a lot of people, learned a lot of cultures. So this, in terms of experience, I would say most of my life, I used to play football also. Yes. I've always been in sports. It's true in corporate world is 10 years, but I think the whole of my life has been always about sports, about football, about gym or running or all of that, yes.
Just being a fit person and obviously staying in a country that is so football driven. I mean, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon is something that we've all grown to know. We go back to when we were reinstated in terms of the global scene, and we had the honor of playing against Cameroon as the very first nation to play against South Africa in our first international game down in Durban at the Kings Park Stadium. So we always have fond memories of what Cameroon is about and just the interaction of the two countries as well. So from your side, there was that temptation to almost become a professional footballer?
I would, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I would have always loved to, but it's true that, you need probably a lot of talent, and that's why I really admire those who get there and get to play in La Liga. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of work, especially talent. So we have like a lot of respect and admiration for those who get there.
Right, after the break, we'll continue with Tresor. We'll find out exactly the presence within the African continent, especially when you look at, things that are seen sometimes as being simple, but they're not. Like nurturing talent, going out to seek and acquire talent, and they're broadening their bases, not only just around Gauteng or Joburg, but they're broadening their base even as far as KwaZulu-Natal. What is it? He'll tell us more about that. Don't go anywhere.
Robert Marawa and Tando Manana coming live from the Rugby World Cup in France.
And he scores a fantastic try.
#MSW in France.
Don't miss out on best value fiber from MWeb, SA's #1 fiber ISP. Get uncapped 20 megabytes per second fiber for only 299 Rand per month with month-to-month payments, no upfront costs, and get connected in 5 days. Visit mweb.co.za or call 087 700 5000 to find out more. MWeb, better internet, better you. T's and C's apply. Web Connect coverage depending.
Enjoy the ultimate entertainment with Hollywood Bets' 25 Rand and 50 free spin sign-up bonus. Play games like Hot Hollywood Bets and more. Sign up today and take a spin with Hollywood Bets. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Let's go live to our afternoon traffic update. Jace!
Traffic lights are out across the city, causing massive delays. It's bumper to bumper everywhere. People are tense. You can even hear hooting up here.
To skip this bad news, just say, skip now. Okay, skipping to the good stuff.
We've all been through a lot this year, Mzansi. Download the MTN app and skip to the good stuff with MTN.
With a deal this incredible, most car brands would be shouting it from the rooftops. But Mazda is a Japanese company founded on the principles of harmony and balance, admired for perfecting the refined excellence of its cars for over 100 years. So although the Mazda CX-3 and CX-5 are now available from only 370 and 470,000 Rand respectively, shouting about it would be, well, a little unnecessary. Contact your nearest Mazda dealer today. Mazda, made with soul. T's and C's apply.
Hear that? That's millions of South Africans celebrating the arrival of the new Alliance air fryers. Powerful, innovative, and deliciously affordable. Alliance air fryers combine hot air technology with oil-free cooking to cut fat and prepare healthier foods fast. Alliance also offers a wide selection of residential and commercial air conditioners, pool heat pumps, and alternative water heating solutions. Visit allianceafrica.co.za and experience the Alliance difference today.
I got the job, but to make that first impression count, I needed a standout CV. I went to Postnet and had my CV professionally printed and bound. They even did my criminal record check. Postnet's got it all. Thanks to Postnet, I went from job hunting to job getting.
Because at Postnet, we're not just a store. We're your neighbor. Postnet, turning dreams into destinies, one print at a time. Getting you across the line.
Step into the magical world of Africa Rare and discover the Abada Rewards Program. The Abada, a legendary double-horned unicorn, has the power to unlock incredible luck and rewards. I'm talking Gold's Gym Platinum memberships, Apple AirPods, Adidas paddle rackets, Robux gift vouchers, digital collectibles, and even your very own piece of virtual land. Visit africarare.io, sign up, and start collecting your Abadas today to unlock incredible rewards.
It's the infamous Room Dividers.
Commentary as well as journalist genius. That's a commentator, Martin Gillingham. What do you think lost it for the host nation?
I think it's a game that could have gone either way. But if we were to look and pick at one or two issues, the early South Africa tries were brought about by high balls in the backfield France were not able to deal with. Let's face it, when two sides are separated by a single point, that's perhaps what you are looking at. If you were to put your finger on one single aspect, that was it.
South Africa power on to the semi-final.
It's the infamous Room Dividers. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. with Robert, Tando and Ashwin. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Yeah, heading back in studio. What an honor, great pleasure having the managing director of La Liga Africa. That is Tresor Pengu with us here. As we're chatting just before the break, just talking about the rich history that La Liga has always had of nurturing football talent, building bonds within communities. I mean, the question is, how's La Liga's global grassroots program? I know that there's been La Liga Academy, impacted the African continent. I mean, some of the key achievements in this regard. Talk to me a little bit about that, because that building bonds, yes, it is there, but it's also about seeking that talent.
Yes, of course. The main objective here actually is to engage with the communities through football, inspire also through football, and also give opportunities through football. We'll be close to more than 640 projects, grassroots projects in the world globally, led by more than 900 coaches from La Liga, who have coached more than 25,000 local coaches and close to 200,000 young players. We are very serious about the engagement, about the using the power of our football to inspire communities. So much so that apart from the camps, we have been organizing all through South Africa, other countries like in Kenya, Nigeria. We have a project in collaboration with our partner, EA Sports, through which we have been able to give opportunities to 8 young girls. 2 from South Africa, 3 from Zambia, 2 from Nigeria, and 1 from Tanzania. After a recruiting process, they're going to be in Spain, in Madrid for 1 year, a 1 year program. They'll continue their schooling, obviously in international school, while they get to train every day, have this platform to express their talents, and because we think it's important to give these opportunities, right? And apart from this, also in Cameroon, where I was before, we were able to create a league for young girls, because after some study, there was this trend of always creating leagues for boys, and girls who wanted to play football never had the opportunity. I'm 12 years, I'm 13 years old, I want to play football. Where can I play football? You have to play with boys. It was unfortunate. Or you have to play with your elders who are already 20, 25. So, all right, let's create a league. We created a league with local partners. We called it the Ligue d'Égalité, Equality League. And what is really amazing about this story is that we started with 180 girls for the first edition, and the second edition, we reached 600 girls. 600
from
girls.
180.
From 180, we had 300 in the league, because there were two sections, under 15 and under 13. We started 180. The second one, now we have 300 in the league, and we have more than 250 who are below 12, who are just getting ready to access the league. So you see how far it gets when you actually open the road and give opportunities.
Yeah, I was
going to
say
all those young girls.
What does that say to you, though? Because when you look at that big jump in terms of numbers, it must trigger a thought that, yes, we've done it now, but imagine if it was done back then, where would we be? We just had a recent, Women's World Cup, and we've seen the growth of the women's game. So when you see that, it's not even doubling up the numbers there, but it's so much more. What does it say to you?
First of all, it's saying that young girls need their platform to play football also, from young ages also. It's not maybe 10 years old, 9 years old want to play football, So these opportunities are important. They should be more. They should be doubled. Everyone, there are many actors in the industry. They should be doubled. They should be tripled. They should be done by anyone. But those young girls, many young girls want to play football. They dream of playing football. And it came with a lot of, honestly, we're very proud from La Liga for being able to do that, because today we are already in the 3rd edition. We're about to launch the 3rd edition. And the same thing. And we also taking advantage to train female coaches also who want to excel in football. The first edition, we trained 42. The second edition, we also trained 42, 45, more or less, female coaches. And it's a satisfaction, because we are seeing that, there's an action after the action, the reaction is so huge that it makes us like being full of joy to keep, engaging and looking for ways to make things better and give opportunities while we inspire.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about these camps, and we've seen them come through 2021, 2022, and there is an expectation of an expansion come 2023 as well. Would you say due outcomes that have been positive from your observation that says and calls for this expansion here in South Africa, though?
Yes, we have this these camps that have been done. Actually, the recent we just did in KwaZulu-Natal in Newcastle.
Yeah,
where we had 90 youngsters, 45 girls and 45 boys, more or less, than 12 coaches that we trained. And there's a lot of talent. We in all of these processes, we see a lot of talent. We would seek to probably, as far as we can get in these opportunities, help to create pathways, for these talents to get out there. Honestly, it's not like you can do everything, but the little we can do in terms of leveraging the brand of La Liga to help inspire, we are all in for it. And the talent here is amazing. The young girls and boys want to play football. They enjoy themselves a lot. The coaches who come in from Madrid, from Spain, love to be here with them. They see all of those, the faces, the way they train, the way they take it seriously from those young ages is something that's worth all of all of it.
But I think somebody listening now says you can have the camps, you will have the reaction, because we are blessed not only as a continent but as a country to have this rich football talent. What are the realities, though? Because we all football fans, we watch La Liga, we get so engrossed in what's happening over there. But for a kid, let's say you've been to Newcastle, who then breaks the mold nice and early, young, because you see introduction of kids at a very young age now. I think Jude Bellingham's an example who comes through as, almost like a teenager who's broken into football, now ends up at Real Madrid. What are the possibilities of those kind of success stories that can potentially happen, but for a South African child who maybe falls into the eye of a scout or one of the people that are there as coaches?
Yeah. So that's a great question. At the end of the day, we look at giving opportunities, creating opportunities. And now, after the several camps we've been doing in the leagues, the recent move we did in terms of actually taking these young girls to Spain for a 1-year program is in the light of the exposure. We can't, as a league, say, this is going to be signed. No, we want to just put some slight spotlight, like here there is talent, here there is stuff. Now, clubs will decide, maybe from us or from other leagues, I don't know, but it's just about their talents here. And during the camps, what we do, we just share knowledge from the way, we train in La Liga. We try to help, for them to get the knowledge. And the activities that we do for us, it creates, I will tell you, I'll go to Cameroon because of the Ligue d'Égalité, but we had a young girl who the first year of the league was called for the national team for futsal, the first year because of the league. Even if it's local team, it's just like if she wasn't in the league at some point in time, those opportunities wouldn't have. Just spotlight, just come out there, show your talent, exposure, then things may happen. And that is what we're trying to push for it to happen.
All right, before we chat about the commercial partnerships, I think you did touch on a few of them that you been blessed to have through time, and there is commitment from them to stay longer with La Liga and with the programs that you do go on with. We're just going to take a quick voice note that's come through.
Rob, I just want to ask your guest, does La Liga Africa also have an influence or the powers to negotiate with La Liga affiliated teams that have got academies in Africa, particularly Espanyol, that is based based in Sentin, where for me, I believe some of the African kids cannot be able to be part of the institution because of it being a fee-paying academy. But for me, that can also be used as a pathway for African talent to be exposed in Spain. I just want to hear your views around that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed, Tresor. Fair question, I suppose. How do you answer that?
Well, our presence in Africa, we have clubs also who are present in the continent, like Espanyol. Yeah, we have also Real Betis in Zimbabwe. We have many other clubs who have their academies in different countries. In terms of the negotiation, we as a league, we always work. He who mentioned the Espanyol. It's an academy that's going on pretty well. But we also have through La Liga different programs like what we just said for the young girls. That what they're having in Spain now is for free. You know, they're gonna live for 1 year in Spain with all these programs for free. We have different camps that we can organize, like what we do in Newcastle, where through selection was done with SAFA, where these young lads could train from. You know, in terms of paying, because I understand it's about maybe not having the possibility to access an academy, but you've been talented, right? So at the end of the day, is the activities or the actions we take in place. We understand all of those challenges that we might have. That's why we bring up programs that would permit us to recruit. You know, like in this case, we will probably do more of those. Yeah. But if we can do those recruitments and give those opportunities to these people who can, you know, do it, they have their talents. You know, we'll try. I wouldn't say we're going to do, you know, the how would I say this? I wouldn't say we can do everything, but in our power, we are really, really serious with using this power to inspire and to give opportunities.
But it's a massive one, though. I mean, that opening the window like that is already massive on its own, because you're doing it officially via La Liga, the structures and everything else. And that is why I made mention of the strong commercial partnerships that you have with media and stakeholders. And I mean, how do these influence your general partnerships, though, you know, as La Liga, with the goals that you have on the African continent? Because if there weren't any commercial partnerships, I would imagine that none of this would be possible.
Yeah, really. We actually thank our partners. We have Hollywood Bets, we have Puma, we have Super Sports. Yeah. So let's say thanks to our partners, we are capable of, on one hand, offer amazing experiences from La Liga. Right now with Hollywood Bets, we are doing a program where we're going to be having four female players in Villarreal for an immersion, for a week immersion.
Oh, nice.
We have the best player of the Hollywood Best Super League, the best player, highest goal scorer, the best goalkeeper, and the best the youngest player. We are going to be there in February, ending January through February, for an immersion program with Villarreal. You know, that's in terms of experience, an amazing experience, and also in terms of training and, you know, getting to understand some aspects or sharing knowledge, you know, with Spanish football. So in this aspect, it's just, you know, with the help of our partners, we are capable of doing all of this. I will go with I just really have to get back to these young girls, because for me it's deep. For sure. You know, it's deep that we have been able. That's through our partner, with the relationship with our partner EA Sports, that we're able to come and, you know, give this opportunity. So a huge thank you to them. We keep working. We call on other partners also who want to who are interested or to leverage our brands in terms of their objectives, or, you know, coming with us to engage with these communities. They will be really welcome.
All right, I need to push you because of time. Got a minute left. El Clasico is always a beautiful thing.
Yes.
What are the plans?
The plans, we are going to have to enjoy the wonderful match. We are going to be hosting. We're going to be having an event in Soweto on Saturday, PGL Lifestyle, where we're going to be offering a lot of experiences to our fans, to the Real fans, to the Barca fans. We're going to be coming to enjoy the day with us. It's going to be amazing. We call on people to come and enjoy with us, and we are very sure that we're going to be offered a magnificent spectacle, because
so they can just rock up.
They can just rock up.
Where in Soweto? Do you have an exact place?
PDL Lifestyle.
Oh, I see. The lifestyle. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, maybe I need to sneak in there and pop around, man.
Yeah,
just
very much invited.
We'll come through, man. El Clasico experience is always best enjoyed with a crowd or a number of people. Tressa, what an absolute pleasure, man. I look forward to having and hosting you again in the future. Pop by anytime. This is your home as much as
Thank you.
It is ours.
Thank you so much, Robert. The pleasure is mine, really.
Thank you very much indeed. Managing Director for La Liga Africa. That's Tresor Benku, my guest tonight right here on #MSW. Catch you again tomorrow.
Robert Marawa and Tando Manana take over the streets of France. Catch all the live crossings from Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. Yeah. #MSW in France.
It's about the music.